host, Dr. Lachelle Weemy, a peak performance coach and business strategist dedicated to helping you see what's possible within you, the blind spots that are holding you back, and the solutions to ensure success and fulfillment without the hustle. I use my secret sauce of metaphysics, brain science, and scripture to work with God to manifest your ideal life and business. If you're ready to create massive forward momentum in your business and bust through the blocks that drag you down, join me on the Spiral Up journey and create the clarity, confidence, and consistency to become the CEO that lives your life by design. It's time to create the sustainable impact, income, and time freedom you desire faster. Now is the time to spiral up. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Spiral Up podcast. I am your host, Dr. Lachelle Weemy. It is such a privilege to be here at the beginning of 2024 when all of us are just bright-eyed and ready for the new year, ready for fresh starts, ready for bigger and better than ever. And I just got to tell you guys that I'm so excited for today because really I'm coming to you with the hope that I get to be your hope dealer. I am here with the intention that I am going to be your waymaker. I'm going to show you what's possible. I'm going to give you some backstage insight into some of my origin story, where I came from to where I am now, to show you guys that it's possible. And if it's possible for me, then it's possible for you. I want to give you guys the opportunity to step into this bigger, better version of yourself. And I want you guys to understand that you friend, you sister, have this amazing story to tell. You have a big, beautiful life in store for you where you are making the impact and the income that you have always dreamed of. That you, friend, have an extraordinarily appointed divine purpose that he wants you to step into. And let's start stepping into that now. Let's use the start of 2024 to do that. So during this episode, I am going to give you guys some of the things that I have done in my life to take me from that origin story to where I am now, which I truly like every single day. Thank God, like I can't even believe that this is my life, right? I want you guys to have that too. And this is just the beginning. I know that. And I know that this is just the beginning for you too. I also want you to learn from some of the things that I have learned because I love to study. I love to listen. I love to learn from books and podcasts and conversations and meet people. And there is something that has been consistently showing up in every single one of those experiences that perfectly aligns with my own. And I'm going to give you guys those secrets that have led to the success of those people and myself to help you get to where you want to go. And the thing is, they're not that complicated. It's pretty dang simple. So hang in there. We are going to get to all of those steps. And I want to give you guys a little, teaser here that at the end of this episode, I have a really amazing, so exciting announcement that I get to tell you guys about here on the Spiral Up podcast first, so that we get to spiral up together, right? I'm so excited. I can't wait. So make sure that you stay tuned to the end of this episode. All right. So I wanted to start out by saying that this episode is for the person who knows deep down in your bones that you are ready for more, that you're made for more, that you feel like there's something missing, that you're curious if everything that you're capable of has been expressed, and is there more that you can prove to yourself that you're capable of? I don't want any of us to go to our grave with regret. I don't want any of us to think, gosh, I wonder what would have happened if I would have actually tried or gone for it or taken that risk or talked to that person. I want all of us to use this as the inspiration, as a starting point to get to where we want to go, and to allow God to lead us to this extraordinary life that he has in store for us. And I want to first acknowledge that everything that you have gone through, every lesson that you've learned, every hardship, every success, every career choice, every skill that you've adapted to has been put on your path as part of your story. Everything that you have been through, gone through, has been for you, not to you, but for you, to prepare you for an extraordinarily divine purpose. And I want to ask you right now, what if God has an even better and bigger plan for you that's even better than what you could have imagined for yourself? Because I got to tell you, like, honestly, that's my life. I thought that I was living my best life. I thought that I was living my dream life, but honestly, it was fine. My least favorite letter F word, right? Fine. My job is fine. My marriage is fine. My body's fine. I'm fine. Friend, that is not good enough. Extraordinary, fulfilled, passion filled, purpose driven, impactful life is what he wants for us. It's what I want for you. But I didn't see that. I was playing small. I didn't think that I was made for that. I didn't think that I was meant for bigger and better until something happened in my life that helped to open my eyes. It was literally like the scales fell from my eyes and I could start to see what was possible. And so the first decision that I want you guys to make here today, right now, is that you're going to decide to stop playing small. You're going to decide to get out of your own way, and you're going to decide that things are going to be different from this point on. Hope for a better future comes with this decision to no longer accept and settle for fine. And you are going to walk forward with gratitude and expectancy that better is on its way. All right. Now, there are three things that I have noticed has continued to come up in themes when I've listened to podcasts, when I've read books, and I'm a nerd, right? Like, I'm a nerd. It's all nonfiction. I love to just figure out things, learn new lessons, learn from people's lives, learn from people's wisdom. And when I really paid attention to all of the things that I was learning and I started to apply it to what I had learned in my own life, there are three things that consistently kept coming up. These are the three simple things that I would say that have led to my and other success. The first one is that success requires that you recognize the desires that are placed on your heart. No matter how crazy, no matter how unequipped, no matter how off the wall, extraordinary, big that desire is, you must lean into it instead of shoving it down, pretending it's not there, thinking that must be for somebody else, or starting to doubt your own discernment. Like that must not be for me. I must not be hearing them right. I'm just selfish. No. God wants big, beautiful things for you. If he has placed it on your heart and it is meant to make the life of others better, the world better, that is from him. Lean into it. Lean into it. The second thing that I've noticed is that people have to make the decision to go for it. This is not a wishy-washy, maybe I'll try it and see what happens kind of decision. This is a in your gut conviction from the bottom of your belly that you are going to freaking figure it out. You're going to do what it takes. There are no options. This is a burn the boat type of decision. And I have seen in my life over and over again where it's like I have this desire, like, okay, yeah, I would love to have that job, or yeah, I'd love to quit my job, or yeah, I'd love to start that business, or yeah, I would love to do that. But, I mean, I don't know, right? One of my decisions is that I wanted to learn Spanish. I want to become fluent in Spanish. I think being in Costa Rica, like, really ignited this passion in me. Like, I want to travel the world and I want to be able to converse with the people and I want to be able to have that skill. But it had been just like this desire, but I never really like took it seriously, right? Like, oh yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be nice. Oh, someday I should totally learn Spanish. But I had to make the freaking decision that, like, no, I'm going to freaking do this. I'm going to learn Spanish. And so now I'm doing my Duolingo every single night without fail. It has become a decision that I will not set my head on that pillow until my Spanish lessons are done. Now my daughter and I do them together and we, watch Spanish TV because we want to immerse ourselves in that. Like we're taking it to the next step. It's like, what do I need to do? What does it take? But until I made the decision to take that seriously, it was still just this wishy-washy thing. Like, yeah, someday, yeah, that would be nice. Oh, I wish I knew Spanish. That is not a decision. A decision requires a commitment. It's a change in your state of being. It's when you own the decision and you're like, yeah, I'm doing this. Even when it's hard, even when I don't feel like it, even when I don't know what to do, it's a decision that you're going to figure it out. You're going to find the skills, you're going to find the tools, you're going to find the people. It's when you make that decision that everything starts to click, because until then, you are still stuck in this wishy-washy land of maybe I'll do that and, maybe that'll work out. So decide. And then the third step in this is to do. It's to get into action. I said it, I did it. I said it, I did it. You can plan all day long. You guys have heard me interview Sarah Light from Soul Planner. She's got a beautiful planner that I use. But if I didn't actually open the dang thing and do what I said I was going to do, none of this would be happening. Recognizing the desire, leaning into it, knowing my why, knowing what is the motivation behind why I'm doing this, seeing it, deciding, committing, declaring, let it be a decree, and then action, doing what I said I was going to do is required. And when I have found that myself and the people that I've learned from execute the desire, decide, and do, amazing things happen. Amazing things happen. Now, I get that sounds super simple, huh? But it's freaking hard. And I get that. But I want to let you guys in on one of my favorite scripture passages that really has been an inspiration to honestly my business. I had a friend ask me the other day, like, hey, do you have a verse for your business for this year? And I'm like, I don't typically do something for the year. I have a fight verse and I have like an overarching verse that has led me in my business. And this is what it is. It's the parable of the servants. So in Matthew 25:14-29, he talks about this master who basically left town. And before leaving, he gave 3 of his servants a various amount of coins before he left. One of them got 5 coins, one of them got 2, one of them got 1, all right? And in this parable, master leaves and the servants are left with these coins. And in other gospels, they equate these coins to talents, right? The servant with the 5 coins, the 5 talents, he reinvested those. And when the master came back, he's like, look, master, you gave me 5 and I got 5 more. And the master's like, well done, good and faithful servant. And the servant that had the 2 coins with 2 talents said the same. He's like, master, you gave me 2 coins. I reinvested them. Now I have 2 more. Well done, good and faithful servant. And the third servant that was given the 1 coin, he's like, master, I know that you can be a harsh man, and I didn't want to lose or squander your coins, so I buried it. It's nice and safe here. Here's your coin back. And the master was frustrated. He's like, why couldn't you have at least put this in the bank and gained interest? Like, what good is this to me? And that's what the parable of the servants is about. It's about us being given certain amount of resources, certain amount of talents. You can either take those talents and you grow and you learn and you meet people and you invest in yourself so that you are investing in the kingdom. And you can say to God, look at what you gave me and look at what I made with what you gave me. And God will say to you, well done, good and faithful servant. I do not want you to be the servant who has the talent, the coin, and you decide to bury it because you're too freaking scared to use it. You don't know how to use it. You are not confident enough to use it. You don't want to find the tools to figure it out, and instead you bury it. Friend, I don't want you to bury your talents. He has this amazing purpose planned for you, but you have to decide to use it. Now, in my background, like I already mentioned this, I thought I was living my perfect life. I went to college, I got my graduate degree, I got my doctorate degree. I was, working at the best healthcare facility in the world. Like the healthcare facility that I worked for 20 years ranks number 1 in the nation year after year. You read between the lines, right? Like top of the notch, right? I became a professor for the nurse anesthesia program at that facility. The longest continually running nurse anesthesia program in the entire world. At the time, I actually coordinated the museum that housed all of the anesthesia history from that. At the time, it was 125 years old. I mean, you guys, this was legacy work. I had 2 kids, a boy and a girl. They were healthy, they were happy, married my high school sweetheart. I literally designed my dream home that we moved into after I got out of anesthesia school. Like, how much better can things be? But the truth is that God knew that I had more in me. He knew that even though, yes, Lachelle, good job for being obedient and doing all of these things, but these, my child, are patterns of this world. I have a bigger impact in store for you. And it was so crazy because if I look back, yes, on paper, I looked successful. Yes, if you didn't know me, I'm like, I had my stuff together, for sure. But deep down, I was an insecure woman who was chasing after titles and degrees and things to prove my worth to myself, to prove my worth to my family, to prove that I belonged, to prove that I was good enough to deserve friends. I constantly made myself small. I diluted myself down so that I could fit in, so that I wouldn't stand out, so that I wouldn't be rejected, so I wouldn't be judged. I was living a fine life, not because what I was doing wasn't impactful, but because I had been diluting down all that was in me. I had been burying my coins. I was too afraid to be me because I didn't want to be alone. I didn't want to be rejected. I don't want to be made fun of. And so instead, I just put on my good girl pants and I just did what I was told and I kept climbing the ladder. But none of it compared to the way that the Lord helped me feel once I started to step into my calling. And it's interesting, like you can read it in my book. I talk about how it was ironically an online skincare network marketing company. And thought, I love investing. I love creating, multiple streams of income. And I was cheap. I'm like, oh, all right, I'm going to get a discount. But it was so unbelievably out of my comfort zone. I wasn't even washing my face at the time. I was a crazy, nervous, awkward introvert who didn't want to post anything on social media. I was afraid to talk to people, deathly afraid of rejection, did not want to be judged, did not want to put myself out there. So why in the heck would I say yes to this? But for some reason I did. For some reason I leaned into that desire and God equipped me. And he led me down this path to recognize, like, holy crap, that feels amazing to change people's lives beyond just helping somebody fall asleep, keeping them alive, and then waking them up after a surgery. Like that's amazing work too. Like, don't get me wrong. It's fulfilling. I love it. I still do it once a month because I love it so much. But if I had to be honest with you, if I did my job right, those people are never going to remember who I am. I'm just somebody who helped them fall asleep and get them through surgery. I wanted more than that. And bringing an additional stream of income into somebody else's life, learning how I can utilize all of this amazing knowledge that I was learning from all of the books and podcasts I was listening to, being able to execute the leadership lessons that I was learning instead of just being a sheep in a corporate job, allowed me to come alive. And that led me down these paths of starting that business to eventually stepping down from my career as a professor to eventually stepping down from my 20-year anesthesia career at this amazing healthcare facility to starting my podcast, to writing a book, to starting my company, I Am Life by Design, which is a business consulting firm. It has allowed me to change the lives of people and help them see what they're capable of. I've been on stages. You guys, like, I can't even tell you the changes in me. I knew that I was made for more deep down in there, and he allowed that to be birthed in this way when I said yes to that company, and when I said yes to the next scary thing, and then the next scary thing, and the next scary thing. I saw the desire and I leaned into it. I mean, I didn't know anything about sales. I knew nothing about social media. I knew nothing about skincare. I knew nothing about network marketing. I was completely green, but I was coachable. And early on, I made the decision, the commitment, the decision, not wishy-washy, not I'm going to try and see what happens. I made the decision that if I'm going to do this, I'm going to give it 100%. And therefore, if it doesn't work, I know that I tried my hardest and it wasn't for me. I decided, I made the commitment that if I am going to do this, I need to get out of my own way. I need to learn social media. I need to learn how to get over myself and talk to people. I need to learn how to put myself out there. I made the decision to acquire the skills, to meet the people, to learn the lessons that I needed to learn to make it possible. Because how could I really say it didn't work? How could I honestly quit something that I didn't actually try? And that's one of the things that I see a lot of people do, especially in network marketing, because the investment is often so low that the risk is low, that who cares if they give up? You do. Watch what will happen if you decide that you are ready to commit to something full in. And then do what you said you were going to do. Do what your coaches tell you to do. Do what you are learning from everybody else and actually execute it and get into action. And watch what happens. Watch what happens. Now, one of the things that I will say is that getting into action, applying what I learned is probably one of the most consistent things that have gotten me from where I am or where I was to where I am now. And I want to encourage you to desire, decide, and do also. Now, going back to the parable of the servants, I actually made a note to myself because I didn't want to mess this up. At the end of the parable of the servants in Matthew, he says, to those who use well what they are given, even more will be given, and they will have an abundance. To those who use what they are given, even more will be given, and they will have an abundance. But from those who do nothing, even what little they have will be taken away. Do you want an abundant life? Or are you burying your talents? Are you afraid to even see what those talents are? Are you afraid to lose them? Are you use them? Are you afraid to commit because you're afraid of failing? Are you afraid you don't have what it takes? Guess what? God loves to show off his power to people who are not perfect, to people who have a lot to learn, to people like me who have no flipping clue how to sell anything, how to show up on social media, who are afraid of everything, who are insecure, who are shy, and show off through guiding me. And he wants to do the same to you. Now, I don't care if you're just getting started or if you are already successful. I am going to challenge you right now. What desire, what next level do you feel like you're being led to do? And where are you holding yourself back? Maybe it's you've been in network marketing for a long time and you realize how good of a coach you are. And what if you could bring additional income in and help other people do the same things that you've learned that have worked? What if you have been eyeing this promotion for years, but you just didn't quite know that you had what it took? Maybe you have been in business for a while and you're just ready to take the leap and quit your corporate job and go all in, go full in. Maybe you're ready to start that podcast or write that book. What is it on your heart that He has placed? And where do you need to acknowledge that desire, acknowledge the abundance that He wants to give you when you use His talents that He's given you? When are you ready to just declare, decide, commit, and then do what you said you were going to do? Now, friend, like, here's the deal. I have over and over again let my confusion get in my way. I've doubted whether or not I heard Him right. I've doubted whether or not I had what it took. I've doubted whether or not, I knew what to do or the right things to do or the right strategies. I've gotten caught up in the confusion of asking everybody and their grandma what to do, and therefore I got completely overwhelmed. I've got caught up in the, oh, I'm just going to do more and then get completely overwhelmed and want to quit. I've been there. I've also let my lack of confidence hold me back. I've let my fear hold me back. I've let my fear of being judged, being rejected hold me back. I've let my fear of success hold me back, like being afraid that I'm not going to be able to handle everything that comes in, being afraid that I'm going to be alone at the top. I've let my unworthiness dictate how much I charge for my services. Friend, I've been there. I've also let my mismanaged schedule hold me back from being consistent. I've allowed procrastination, perfectionism, all of those things hold me back from executing. I've even allowed myself to succumb to a lack of motivation. I've been there. I am not superhuman at all. But what I do have is the recognition that the desire, deciding, and doing are 100% required for you to get to where you want to go and to hear those words, well done, good and faithful servant. And I recognized that when we can get clear on where He's leading you, recognize your discernment, recognize that you are on the right path, or how to figure out whether or not you're on the right path, figure out the right strategies that are going to get you there. That clarity is powerful. I recognize the power of confidence, overcoming the unworthiness, overcoming the fears, overcoming the limiting beliefs that you have and your subconscious sabotage. I've recognized the power of that. Confidence is powerful. Confidence is what helps you to decide. Confidence is what helps you to make that decision, that commitment. And I've recognized the power of consistency and habits and systems and procedures and just ways to make things easier instead of harder, to help you to gain the consistency to get into action. Clarity, confidence, and consistency, that partnered with the connectedness with God, is my expedited impact and income formula. It's the how to get the desire, decide, and do. And I got to just tell you guys that I go into so much detail in the book that I wrote, Get Out of God's Way. I tell more of my story. I get more in depth on the desire, decide, do, and the confidence, the consistency, and the clarity. And I want you guys to get there too. I want to be the hope dealer today. I want to be the waymaker for you today. I want you to know that if a super shy, awkward, introverted farm girl from Minnesota can show up consistently on a podcast, on a stage, write a book, be a successful business owner, you can too. You can too. And all of the things that I've learned along the way, the lessons that I've had that have allowed me to overcome those things, I share in my book. Now, I promised you guys at the beginning of this episode an announcement, and so here it is. I am going to be releasing the audible version, the audio version of Get Out of God's Way here in the next couple of weeks. Whoop, whoop. So you are all in for a treat. So if you have been wanting to just listen to the book, if you have been wanting to dive into it in another way, I also have some very special bonuses that are going to be coming with an audio version of this book. So it is going to be available on Audible, but it's also going to be available audio version with bonuses through me. So watch for the announcements on all of the ways that you can get that, and make sure that you get on my waiting list so that you can be one of the first people to get access to the Audible version and all of the bonuses that I have in store for you. All right. I want you guys all to hear at the end of your life, well done, good and faithful servant. I want you to know that you lived your life full out. I want you to know that everything that you had inside of you that you were capable of was brought into fruition, that you made the impact that you were meant to make. And I want to be able to cheer you on in that journey. So make sure that you guys stay tuned, get on this wait list. I'll have all of the details inside of the show notes. And I cannot wait to continue to share with you guys over the next couple of weeks more on some of these really great principles that are going to help you get from where you are to where you want to be. So let's do this in 2024 and beyond. Bye, everybody. So much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and leave a review. Each honest review helps me spiral up so that I can serve you even better. Whether you're feeling a lack of impact, income, or time freedom, or perhaps you're just ready for massive momentum in your business, let's chat. Apply for a breakthrough call so that you can gain clarity, identify what's holding you back, and make a plan to spiral up. Head on over to im-lifebydesign.com/breakthrough or access the link in the show notes. For immediate support, log into our community, the Better Club. We focus on inspiration, tactical guidance, and support. This is a community that wants to be better, do better, and have better in life and in business, and we're going to help you do the same. Let's spiral up, friends.